it up for Ohio State.
You've waited all day for this.
He's stealing away. He's going to take it to the house. 85 yards. Down the right side going Devin Smith. Got it at the 5 and into the end zone. Touchdown.
The one show that's nothing but the Buckeyes.
Oh, Graham record for the touchdown. Kraft shoots it high on the right for 3.
This is the Buckeye Show.
Off and rolling here on a Monday. I am Brandon Beam, hanging out tonight with Austin Ward. Of course, we got our man Rhymetime, Jacob Reimer. Behind the glass, A-Ward Sports. Happy Monday to you and this beautiful day that has descended upon Columbus, Ohio, yet again.
How can you possibly beat it?
It's the best.
Awesome to be here with you.
San Diego, the Midwest. This is what we get.
Thank goodness, Rhymetime made it back. As promised.
It was looking sketchy there for a little bit, but he did indeed make it back.
I was worried for him on Saturday morning because that's the day he was going out to the PGA.
Delayed.
I get that notification on my phone. Dangerous weather. I said, no.
Not for Reimer.
Not my Reimer.
Not for Saturday.
No.
Do this on Sunday.
I had to check. He didn't get struck by lightning, did he? No, he's fine. He's going to have a day anyway.
How was your drive down, Rhymetime, and then how was your drive back as well?
It wasn't bad. We got coffee right once we started the drive, and then got about halfway through at a gas station, got another coffee to power through the rest of the way. Mm-hmm. Got 2 hours of sleep, played 27 holes of golf the next day.
Yeah.
So grinded through that. It was a fantastic time. Courses were unbelievable. And then crashed Friday night.
I bet.
I think I didn't even set my alarm and woke up in a panic because we were supposed to leave at 7, and I woke up at 7. And
well, the weather was...
And he was the only one away.
Right. And we got up, got ready to go, headed into Quail Hollow, and as we were walking past the driving range and to the little bridge that all the players cross was the horn. Saw Rory going across the bridge and getting
some select words.
Yep, that we cannot repeat. But he was a little upset that he had to then basically go home and wait another, 5 hours that was to tee off. And then went to the gift shop then with some time to kill.
Got us some beautiful gifts. Thank you very much.
That was awesome.
Yeah,
I was not expecting that.
No, I wasn't either.
Absolutely. Had to, for sure.
And then the drive back was fine. Did you guys leave yesterday, come back?
Yeah, we came home Sunday morning, stopped and grabbed some breakfast.
Okay.
And then hit the road about 11 o'clock and was home by 5:30.
Did you enjoy that more than Oak Hill a couple of years ago? Where would you rank them?
I got to answer this carefully because my wife went on the last one and she didn't on this one.
Oh, I don't want to get you in trouble. You can say Oak Hill. That's fine.
So Oak Hill was fun because we got to see everybody. There was a lot of really good players that ended up missing the cut, but we did get to see Rombo, Rory, Bryson, and then Scotty, who had himself an absolute day.
Yeah.
On Saturday.
Yeah, he did. And he ended up winning.
Yes.
Yeah, he put in a nice little effort yesterday.
I told you in the middle of the show on Friday I said,
evening.
This thing is over.
Yeah.
It's over. He's winning.
He was 3 strokes back and was still like plus 220 to win. I'm like, those odds don't seem correct.
They were correct.
They were correct. It should have been
minus 500.
Should have been minus 500. Yeah, that boy can absolutely get after it, can he?
Yeah.
Woo!
He can play a little golf.
He can. It was pretty good. How was your weekend, all right?
It was awesome, man.
Little Hell is Real, little Columbus Eagles, double action.
Yeah, full soccer weekend. Actually, so had our neighbors, great friends, took care of Liberty on Saturday night so that Allie and I could go do the derby downtown without lugging her around and do it up properly, which we did. So went down and Jackie O's hit that up before the game.
Nice.
A little pregame down there. It was really nice. Allie had never been to that spot before.
It's a cool space.
She had been under previous ownership, and she's like, where did all this space come from
They
in
have
here?
like 30 different rooms and areas to hang out there.
It's awesome. And then, some of our old curling friends, for some reason, the Nordeck was, actually, I know the reason. They weren't checking anyone's tickets. We were there 30 minutes before kickoff. There was nowhere to stand. We're in the top, the northwest corner, last row. And I'm like, there's nothing. And then I just see 2 of our friends from curling, Nick and Sarah, they're up there like, hey, you can get in right here. It's great. So I haven't seen them in a while. Talk to them, talk some ball, and great night. Could have used a little bit better result. And then we went up and Liberty was excited to go to historic Crew Stadium. She's got all those memories, got all those emotions out, and watched the Eagles. Just an absolute demolition of FC Dayton. Nikki Cox pouring in the hat trick. And then
hat trick, nice.
Yeah, I was trying to find an updated roster, and they couldn't have it. They didn't have one anywhere. And I think her name was Nora Rausch.
Okay.
And she was just absolutely dominating in central defense. And I just she's having a whale of a game.
Just
cleaning everything, just running things, cleaning up everything. I told Allie, I was like, everyone's going to be talking about Nikki Cox, all the headlines coming out of this win for the Eagles, but that center back had a whale of a game.
That's awesome. Well, I'm good. Glad you had a fantastic weekend. We did as well. Hung out on Saturday with my dad, then played a little golf yesterday at the Links at Echo Springs, which is about 40 minutes away from Columbus, just north of Granville. Beautiful spot, like really, really beautiful golf course. This is the second time I've ever played out there, and it was a great time. Great time, beautiful day, windy. I had a fantastic time, then had a little Sunday fun day afterwards. So it was all good. Let's talk some Buckeyes, shall we? Let's get into talking about Matt Patricia. I was reading this article from 11 Warriors, and they were going over some of the quotes from spring, Austin. And listen, I think the Matt Patricia hiring it was met with a little bit of pushback from Ohio State fans, but I feel like deeper and deeper you got into spring, and now where we're at, I think Ohio State fans have turned a page and are very excited about Matt Patricia's potential of what he can do with this defense.
Yeah, I don't know if I fall fully under pushback in that category, but I was absolutely one of the most outspoken surprise category people, because it felt like it was coming out of left field. And when you think about the reputation that he had working with Bill Belichick, and then the way it went in Detroit, and how many people just did not seem to, embrace his personality, enjoy his personality. The results weren't there when he was on his own.
I think he was also trying to be something maybe he wasn't
I think that's definitely true. And especially because I've now had 3 months to get to know him, and it matters a lot more inside the Woody and how he's relating to players, and all that stuff has been off the charts. But I can also apply it to, and I wanted to keep an open mind about it, Beamer. Yeah, I'm surprised. It didn't necessarily make sense to me up front when this is, transpiring right after the national championship. Jim Knowles leaves. It feels like things are set up maybe for Tim Walton and Matt Guerreri to come along and be co-DCs.
Yeah, that was where I was at. I was like 80% sold that was going to be it. Or if you're going to bring someone else in from the outside, it better be a big swing. And Matt Patricia, I'm like, well, it's a rather large swing.
It's a swing, and it wasn't, the one that I think that anyone would have necessarily anticipated. So, again, I wanted to be careful, and I talked to you about this before, going back to that. Bobby had experience with him, and he said, get to know him. And I said, that's fine. I'm not making a judgment on whether this guy who has 20 years of NFL experience around some of the brightest people in the history of the sport, he can probably show up and call plays.
He can probably do a pretty good job.
He's probably going to be good at that. But is he going to recruit? Is he going to be able to relate in the NIL space to, can he get along with Caleb Downs specifically, but then the defense as a whole? How is that all going to work? And I did not know, but everything since then has been off the charts. And when it comes to, again, the personality part, all I can do is if he's talking to me and I'm talking to him, what is my vibe of that going to be like? It doesn't, again, that the part for in the Woody and with the team is more important. But if I'm just going to judge a character or personality by somebody, I'd like to get to know them. And I've had 5-6 experiences opportunities to do that. It's been incredible. He
brings a wealth of knowledge.
He said at the coaches clinic, Beamer, he's like, well, there were days in Detroit where I was like, on a Friday before a game, I'd have the media in, it'd be off the record. I just like to talk ball. I like to explain ball. And I said, well, that's great because
I like to talk ball too.
Because I don't know anything about it. I would love to learn. I like to cover the personalities and the storylines, but if you're going to continue that here, which maybe they won't, and probably they won't. But in the offseason,
it'll have to be Thursdays, not Fridays.
Yeah, well, you change
those are reserved for the best Fridays in football.
Yes, you can't do it then. But even an opportunity like the coaches clinics, you have a question, you just ask me, and I'll explain it. And maybe I won't be able to do that the same way after a game, but if you know what to look for, if you know what we're trying to accomplish, that will probably help you and you can cover the team better. And I said, well, that's all I want.
Yeah, for sure. And I think a lot of people, when they watch football, you're watching the ball, right? It depends. What are you watching, Austin, when you watch football? Because for me, I'm watching the lines. That's what I hone in on. Yes, of course, I watch the ball, but some people watch the receivers and what they do and their breaks, and some people watch running backs. I look at the lines of scrimmage and then via the replay, because every Ohio State game, I'll go back and rewatch it and just try to pick up things I haven't watched. And I'm so uniquely interested to see what this defense looks like when you compare it to what it's looked like these last few years under Jim Knowles. I think it's going to look similar, but you are also going to get in situations where you're going to run a multiple front. You don't really have an identity because you're good at every single level.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a simple man. I'm watching the quarterbacks most of the time. I'm trying to be better about that. I know that is not the be-all, end-all and not the determining factor for every single play. I think that's easier for me when Ohio State is on the field defensively, and I don't worry as much about the opposing quarterback and what he might be doing with the ball, because if Ohio State's getting pressure, if they're bringing the blitz, like, I feel like the Silver Bullets more likely than not are going to have success on that play. So it's easier for me in that regard. But I want to watch Will Howard. I want to watch Justin Fields work. I want to see what is going on with the quarterback with the football in his hands. And if you turned your back on Justin Fields for half a second, you might miss everything that happened. So, and same with Braxton before that. So I'm working on getting better at that. I've been trying to pay more attention with the offensive line as we move forward. But I do feel like I've gotten a better feel. And part of it is because I talk with Bob a lot, just like you. Mm-hmm. And then I had a weekly, film review breakdown with Zach Boren, which was defense every single week doing Buckeye Q. So if I'm not paying attention to that and I don't see any, and if I haven't learned anything from those two guys, I'm wasting my time.
Well, and then Matt Patricia will guide you through the rest. It'll be all right.
I hope.
He'll guide you through those blank
He said
spaces.
he would.
Yeah, so Matt, you can come on the show whenever you want. We'll teach Austin some ball together.
Yes.
We'll do that. We'll just do film breakdown 101 with the Buckeyes. Hey, speaking of the Buckeyes, because it is the Buckeye Show, where does Ryan Day ranks the best coaches in the country? We're going to get into that coming up next. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
Whatever you're doing right now, just know that Bo Bishop is enjoying a sip of bourbon. Even if this promo is playing in the morning, no judgment.
Ah, sweet morning drinking.
The Fan.
This is the sound of a popular American motorcycle. It's the sound of freedom, the open road, really good times. And this is what it sounds like with a drunk guy in it. How do you like the sound of that? Cops are cracking down on drunk motorcycle riders. If you ride drunk, you will get caught and you will get arrested. Drunk riding. Over the limit, under arrest. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Transportation.
Have you ever told a friend?
Oh, I'm fine.
When you really felt?
Just so overwhelmed.
Or sent a text?
Can't sleep. Are you awake?
When you couldn't find the words to say?
I'm scared to be alone with my thoughts right now.
Then this is your sign to reach out to the 988 Lifeline for 24/7 free confidential support. You don't have to hide how you feel. Text, call, or chat anytime.
Everybody knows that Roosters is a fun, casual joint with their award-winning waitstaff, great food, fun, and laughter. It's a quick stop on the way home to sit back and unwind. It's a front row seat to the big game. Roosters is where you, your family, and friends can order pizzas, sandwiches, salads, and more. And the home of award-winning wings that are fresh, never frozen, and so big you won't believe it. It's your family's other dinner table. Roosters, a fun, casual joint, and the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
It's Kubota Orange Days. From America's #1 selling compact tractor to zero-turn mowers and versatile RTVs, get your perfect match delivered to your door. Now through June 30th, get 0 down, 0% APR for 84 months or up to $3,500 off BX23S tractors. See the details at KubotaOrangeDays.com.
Visit BuckeyeKubotaDealers.com to find a dealer near you.
Health insurance companies are expected to carry health benefits, but CareSource does so much more. We look beyond doctors' offices and hospitals to see the challenges that face our members. Then we help them achieve not just better health, but better lives. Along with great benefits, we also help our members find stable jobs, housing, childcare, and rides so they can find greater independence. At CareSource, we're removing barriers, we're improving lives, we're reimagining healthcare.
Come on over to Heartland and join our family.
Now, community banking is the lifeblood of the American financial system, building strong, lasting relationships. We're just better able to help guide you down life's road. Flexibility is paramount to success. Community banking is alive and well in the Heartland. I'm Scott McComb. Come on over to Heartland, where banking really feels good.
Where banking feels good. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
The Fan at 1460 ESPN Columbus is your radio home for Sunday Night Baseball.
Sponsored by The Waterworks. Call The Waterworks and Header Heating and Cooling today at 614-232-2222.
The Fan.
As America's largest custom home builder, Schumacher Homes believes a top-quality home should be affordable for everyone in the Buckeye State. We work with the leading architects to bring you the latest in design, and then you have the ability to make changes. Not just selecting finishes, but moving walls, adding rooms, literally customizing anything from the ground up. It's a misconception that custom homes have to be expensive. We work within your budget to build an amazing home on your land. Visit SchumacherHomes.com or any of our 9 Ohio locations.
Donato's is bringing you huge savings on a large pizza. For a limited time, get any large one-topping Donato's pizza for just $10.99 when you order online and pick it up. That's right, just $10.99. I'm going with that pepperoni. But hey, you pick your favorite topping, then pick up your large one-topping pizza for just $10.99 when you order online using promo code PICKUP. That's promo code PICKUP. Pick up your Donato's and save today.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Partly sunny, light winds, and a comfortable start to the week. Temperatures holding in the low 70s. Overnight will fall back down to around 50 degrees with a dry and a cool start to your Tuesday morning. Scattered showers and a few thunderstorms possible later Tuesday into Tuesday evening. More clouds and cooler with highs in the mid-60s. With your 10 weather impact forecast, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jerry Martz on The Fan.
Someone out there probably thinks we spend too much time talking about the Buckeyes. Please tell someone that they're stupid. You're listening to the Buckeye Show.
And we are the Buckeye Show, sponsored by Coors Light. Those mountains are blue. You know that those bad boys are cold, and I enjoyed a couple of them yesterday out on the golf course.
Is that right?
Yeah. Had a great time.
How did... Were you two-man scrambling with Michael Bennett when he deserted you?
No, we weren't. We were playing our own ball. So we had 4 people in one group, 4 people in the next group. Mm-hmm. And we decided on a game, and we said, okay, here's the game. We'll just play a one-man best ball out of your group. And then whoever wins the match owes the other person a beer, owes one person on the other team a beer. And so, so Mike, former Buckeye Michael Bennett, was riding with me on hole 7. And Mike plays golf infrequently, but he's learning, he's trying. And there were it was like a stretch of 4 or 5 holes right at the beginning where he actually made a real golf score. It was a bogey, it was a double bogey, it was a triple bogey, but it was a real golf score. And he was very proud of that.
Yeah.
Because you get to a point in time where it's like, hey, I'm not just throwing a ball down somewhere. I'm not losing it, but I'm actually able to keep track of my scores. And then we get to, I want to say it was hole number 7. It was a par 3, 160 some yards. He gets up there, drops his club after the swing. I said, uh-oh, what happened? Because it wasn't really that bad of a swing. The ball was going in the general direction of the green. And I said, you all right? He goes, nope. I said, uh-oh, what happened? He goes, I just blew my forearm up. I said, well, is it bad? He said, yep. Didn't play the rest of the day. All he did for his entire career in the NFL was just earn blood money. And that was one of the pop-up symbols for him yesterday. He's like, yep, just can't play golf anymore. He goes, I got a little stinger. He goes, it hurt me for the next 3.5 hours.
He knows the difference between being hurt and being injured.
Yeah, for sure. And he was not attempting any more golf.
Well, he told me the last time I got the privilege of playing with you two, he was like, I'm good for 9 holes.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, he was pretty much to the end of that point already. Maybe he was faking.
Yeah, he could have been. I mean, I don't know. The standard is the standard. And he was having
He never would do that.
He was having a pretty good round by his standards, and I think he was a little bit disappointed that was the case. But yeah, his forearm blew up on him, so he just rode around and drank Coors Light for the rest of the day.
Well, there's a lot worse things that you can do with your Sunday morning.
100%. 100% it was. So it was a good day that we had yesterday. I was reading this list from ESPN because it is May 19th, which we are right in the thralls of list season, baby. And we got we're going to do some more tiers coming up in the 7 o'clock hour for quarterbacks around college football too. So it's ranking season, it's watch list season, it's tier season. It's all the good stuff. And ESPN over the weekend ranked the best coaches in college football for 2025. We'll start you on the back end of the list, and then we'll jump up. Number 10 coming in, head coach of your Iowa State Cyclones. That would be Matt Campbell, number 10 at Iowa State. Record of 99-66, 15 points. I don't know, maybe it's like the Price is Right or Whose Line Is It Anyway situation where the points are useless and the rules are made up. You can rank coaches however you deem fit. Number 9 out at Utah, Kyle Whittingham. First of all, unbelievable job he's done at Utah, and what a
He's
career.
a legend there.
167-86. Dude has been there for forever. 20 seasons over at Utah, and they've obviously had some big games under him. Coming in at number 8, James Franklin, Penn State. I think it's too high.
Shouldn't be in the top 25.
I think it's a little too high for James. 125.
Don't ask me, because my feelings on James Franklin are very well known to everyone. Just ask a Penn State fan. Pick anyone off the street that you want. Do you think James Franklin is the 8th best coach in America? And if they say to you, which they will, no, then drop them down.
Kalen DeBoer comes in at number 7. I think that's too high for Kalen DeBoer.
Yeah, what's that based on?
I don't know. I don't know what that's based off. I mean, he's 46-13 total. It was 67-3 at Sioux Falls. Like, yeah, I mean, I know that guy's really good, but he took the Bama job. He had 3 losses out of the gate, and he missed the playoff, which is unacceptable for any expectations, but especially the ones that they have down there in Alabama. Number 6 was Dan Lanning. Fine with that. I'm fine with Dan being up there. I think Dan's a coach. He's a genius on the field. Look at the way he exposed that rule against Ohio State at the very end of the game. Was that above board? No. Did he get away with it? Yep. Did they immediately change the rules afterwards? Yes, they did. I think Dan Lanning is fine at number 6. I also think you have to watch out for him in the future because they are armed with a gigantic war chest of NIL dollars.
It's always fascinating to me when we get into these lists, and you're just, halfway through the top 10 here, but like, what is Dan Lanning actually accomplished to go in that spot? And Ryan Day is much higher this year, but he wasn't even like getting, slotted into that 5-6 ranking a year ago at this time, and people were really dinging him. And I remember being upset and like frustrated and having a hard time explaining it every single year. We're like, Lincoln Riley is continuing to get the benefit of the doubt every single year, and everything about Ryan Day is, well, he inherited a Death Star, and his record can be diminished, and he hasn't beat Michigan in this amount of time, which is like fine if that's the argument you want to make, but they don't apply it to everyone evenly. I kind of feel like Dan Lanning is in the spot where, yeah, I recognize that he's very good, and everyone in college football is pretty much terrified of the combination of him and that Oregon war chest for NIL, but I think the Rose Bowl was a little bit lopsided between those two coaches.
It was a skosh lopsided, just a tad. I mean, I was having a great time in the first 30 minutes of that game. Really, I was having a great time on the second play of the game when they threw that little slip wheel route to G. I said, oh boy, if this is going to be the situation for today, then watch out. And then was it the next possession where Jeremiah like diced through the defenders, and then all of a sudden
that was all the opening drive.
It was that
they
play.
set Jeremiah in motion, and then he was like,
yeah,
afterburners.
Gone. See you later.
The Oregon guys were like, nah, we're good here.
I think if there's anyone on this list who has a lot of ability for upward mobility, though, I think Dan Lanning is the coach I'm looking at.
I would agree with that. And that's the other part of people's lists and their opinions. And we can, once they put them out there, we get to offer our own in rebuttal. If you're betting on potential, yeah, Dan Lanning for sure. I'm just wondering what part of that resume is secure. But I guess that there just also aren't that many current head coaches who actually have national championships.
He's got the 4th most wins in a time span behind Kirby, Michigan, and Ohio State. In that time span. And since he's been there.
And Michigan.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, Jim Harbaugh, but they span different coaches.
I got you.
Number 5 coming on this list, Steve Sarkisian, Texas. Yeah, I'm cool with that. Semifinals a couple of years ago, semifinals last year. Had an opportunity knocking on the doorstep to tie the football game up. And then Jack Sawyer made the Jack Sawyer play, and the rest is history from there. But I think it was an overwhelming success year number 1 for them down in the SEC, and I think that they're feeling like they've got some blood in the water for this year. So, I mean, that's obviously first game out of the gates this year. You're going to get to see Texas with as much, if not more, hype around them than what we heard from Ohio State last year.
I find the Sark conversation fascinating, especially when it's him and Dan Lanning back-to-back, because Dan Lanning is still that bet on potential, and the early results have been incredibly promising, and he knows what to do. Sark's tenure, if you're just saying, well, let's compare him at Texas to Dan Lanning in Oregon, you're like, oh, all right, well, maybe you've got something going there a little bit more with Sarkisian. His body of work actually exists over a much longer period.
Yes, it does.
And maybe this is different for him at Texas, It seems to be. But there are other stops that are hard for me to get out of my mind. And putting him at number 5.
USC?
Among them, yeah. Mm-hmm. I think that didn't go the best. And maybe he has, rectified all of that. It seems like he has, which is good for him, great for him. But it's also part of the body of work.
Number 4 coming in on the list from ESPN's top 10 coaches in college football right now, Marcus Freeman, Notre Dame.
That was a pretty rapid rise there.
That's a very rapid rise. So shout out to Marcus, man. He's got the Fighting Irish in a good situation. Be interesting to see CJ Carr this year, what they produce with that schedule as well. Number 3, Dabo. Number 2, Ryan Day. Number 1, Kirby Smart. Okay. I get it. Kirby's out there. He's got multiple. Dabo's out there. He's got multiple. Ryan Day, the latest one to win a national championship. I think it's pretty hard to argue at this point, Austin, that Ryan Day isn't in that conversation of top 3. You want to rank Ryan Day number 1? I'm cool with that. You want to put Ryan Day 3 amongst those guys? I'm cool with that because the leaderboard has those guys with more. I'm okay for any argument of these guys being 1, 2, and 3 in any order.
Yeah. They have the championships, and they're not easy to win.
No.
So when you get to that point, that's the rarefied air where you deserve to live. And Ryan Day has stamped himself officially there.
He's 70-10.
People were, as I said, a year ago, they were waiting. We're not going to put Ryan Day here. He doesn't have a championship. I haven't been to the Big Ten championship. Haven't beat Michigan.
Yeah, Lincoln Riley was like 4 on this list last year.
That's how it's been. They finally gave up on the Lincoln Riley part and then recognized, I think, through what Ryan Day and the Buckeyes accomplished, that, hey, maybe there's something special going on there. But I think that you can make a case, Georgia and Ohio State, I think, are the preeminent programs in college football.
Right now, yeah.
And Dabo is trying to reclaim some of that mojo. I think he just realized that the transfer portal exists this offseason, which could help him recapture that. Maybe he's got the passion again to do that. I don't know. His is a legacy choice right there because I actually don't feel like Dabo is the third best current college football coach.
I agree with that 100%. But I also understand why he's ranked where he's ranked.
And I'm not saying don't do it. I just feel like that's the difficulty when you do this. You said you prefer the tiers through the rankings because then that's when we get into the nitpicking. Well, what part are you valuing as number 1, number 2, or number 3 right now? Because Dabo is there because of what he's accomplished over the duration of his career. Ryan Day is now at number 2 because of what he accomplished last season.
Yeah.
Like primarily because he was already winning 95% of his games until last year. That already existed.
Yeah, among head coaches with at least 50 FBS games under their belt, Ryan Day's winning percentage is .875. It's the third best of all time. Yeah. in the AP poll era. That dates back to 1936.
Seems good.
That is 89 years that date back, if my math is correct on that. So, yeah, argue until you're blue in the face. No Brian Kelly on this list either. So he's got a big year down in Baton Rouge if they want to get things righted down there in Tigerland. Hey, how real of a shot does Jeremiah Smith actually have to win the Heisman? We'll get into that here in a couple of minutes. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
At 9 Trees Landscape Construction, we have high expectations. Can you deliver excellence in hardscape at the highest level? Does your current company compensate you at the highest level? For 25 years, 9 Trees compensates excellence with wages and benefits packages guaranteed better than your current employer. Guaranteed. Call 614-921-9595 or apply at 9treeslc.com today to join 9 Trees Landscape Construction and elevate your career to be your best with us.
The standing room only with all eyes on the 18th green.
That's a good looking ball.
The sudden roars. That Sunday celebration.
Jack always made the putt at 18. And today, Scotty Scheffler did.
Witness the Memorial Tournament presented by Workday, May 26th through June 1st. It's second to none. Visit memorialtickets.com today.
Wow, what a shot.
Hey, Ohio State fan, are you ready for game day? Get hyped and get your crew going with the Buckeye Meal at BK. For $20, you'll get 1 juicy flame grilled Whopper sandwich, 1 original chicken sandwich, 2 mouthwatering cheeseburgers, 3 crispy golden small fries, and 3 refreshing small drinks. Grab your $20 Buckeye Meal today and share the taste of victory. At BK, have it your way. You rule. Limited time only at participating Ohio area restaurants. Tax extra. BK is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Attention Columbus. Town Properties just clinched the title of the largest residential property manager in Columbus, thanks to the Columbus Business Journal. With pride, we oversee 25,000 plus households in the Columbus metro area, ensuring fantastic places to call home. Whether you're on the hunt for an exceptional living space, a top-notch association management company, or a property manager for your multifamily portfolio, visit our website at town.properties.com and let us elevate your living experience. Town Properties, always managing great places to live.
The Buckeye Show is sponsored by CareSource, proud to be your home for Ohio State Athletics. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
We here at The Fan believe there's no such thing as too much Ohio State coverage. You're locked into The Buckeye Show.
Well, it's dinner time on most of the state, I would say. Usually I'm like a 6:30 dinner guy. You know, that's what we've built around Willie's schedule. Do like a 6:30 dinner. And it's bath time. That usually eats up between 20 and 30 minutes.
Does he fight the bath? Or
no, he loves
the
it. Yeah, he loves it. Loves the bath. Sometimes it's a shower. Sometimes it's a bath. We ask him, which one do you want tonight? You want a bath or you want a shower? Like 80% of the time it's shower.
Okay.
And then, we did bath night last night, which was good. I just got a text from Mayor, so they're currently eating dinner. My mom came up today. My mom and my grandma, who just turned 91 over the weekend. And
did she have a hangover from that birthday?
She did have a hangover from that birthday. Yes, she did, because they were out celebrating when we gave you an update on Friday. She was drinking a margarita. Also had 2 shots of tequila. Well, she's 91. God bless her. And
that's impressive.
I asked her. I said, "How are you feeling on Saturday?" She goes, "Oh, I got up around 11 and I had a headache." Like, yeah, I bet you did, ma'ams. You're 91 years old, choking down tequila shots. She can't say tequila. Like, she just can't physically say tequila. And she always gets the Q and the T swapped. So she calls it Quatilla.
Ooh.
I'm like, well, that's
I kind of like that better.
And then her classic line is, I don't know how to say it, but I can drink it. I like drinking it. So she had a good time. And they were visiting today. And my mom, she always brings food for us. So today's, food of choice that she brought was Sloppy Joe. And William's kind of weird with meat. Like, sometimes he doesn't like the meat. Sometimes he does. He's getting a little better of eating it. Like, sometimes he'll do a rotisserie chicken or some cold cuts. But Meredith's like, did he like the Sloppy Joe today? I'm like, yeah, he liked it a little bit. So they are having mac and cheese for dinner. He's asked for 3 plates of mac and cheese. And she goes, we ran out of mac and cheese, and now he's just eating fistful of Sloppy Joes. That's what he's doing tonight.
That's the only way you should eat.
That's my boy. That's my big boy.
Bath time's going to be special.
I'm telling you, man.
Just covered in Sloppy Joe.
My back and my upper body have never been stronger in my life. I'm just carrying around a 40-year-old brick all the time.
Hey, thanks to Awaken 180.
Yeah, I feel pretty good about it. Feel pretty good about that situation. So, yeah, there's a little dinner update for you. Willie smoking some mac and cheese and now crushing bread, buns, and Sloppy Joe.
Good for him.
Yeah, he's having a great time, man. He's having a really good time doing that. So I was reading this a little bit earlier, Austin. This is from CBS Sports. This is by Will Backus of CBS Sports. He went over, because, again, it is list season. It's watch list season. It's tier season. Told you we'll get into some tiers a little bit later. Predicting college football award winners. Massive accolade haul expected for Ohio State Clemson stars. And he starts out right at the gate. He's not even messing around with other trophies in college football. He's going number 1, Heisman Trophy. He's got his predicted winner for the Heisman this year to be one J.J. Smith, wide receiver, Ohio State. Here's what he said. Smith's already the best player in college football, and he's only been in the sport for just over a full year. Though the Heisman rarely goes to a wide receiver, Smith has the aura, media recognition, and talenting befitting college football's top award. It's not hard to see him collecting at least 1,500 receiving yards and 20 touchdowns for the Buckeyes in 2025, especially with fellow top option Emeka Egbuka off to the NFL. And it's not like defenses can key in on Smith alone. Ohio State's wide receiver room packed to the gills with a bunch of talent. Packed to the gills with talent. He's an unstoppable force. And so long as he meets expectations, he will be in New York by year's end. Smith is the smartest bet to win the Maxwell and the Walter Camp Awards, as well as a plus 1,400, 14-1 bet to win the award, according to FanDuel. Smith is behind 3 quarterbacks, Arch Manning at 7-1, Garrett Nussmeier of LSU at 9-1, and Cade Klubnik also at 9-1. That adds even more value to an already Smet preseason bet. We, at this point last year, were just like breaching the surface on the Jeremiah Smith hype train. This year, we've gone full stop. The hype train is out of control, and for a very, very good reason.
Because he lived up to it and exceeded those sky-high expectations.
Yes, he did.
The one that sticks in my brain more than anything else, which is from this offseason. Let's forget about, did he live up to the hype a year ago? Yeah, we all know that he did.
He blew it out of the water.
But then how do you follow up on that? Because he's still trying to get even better. How does he fit into this landscape? How is that going to work once Heisman Trophy campaigns begin? And
I love a good Heisman Trophy campaign.
I would sneak Caleb Downs into that conversation for me too, but it's tough because he doesn't have the offensive counting stats that Jeremiah's going to have.
Come on, he might play running back this year.
Let's not start that one again. We don't need to
dive into those waters.
We don't need to do that again.
Spring rewind, running backs plus Caleb Downs.
Yeah, plus Caleb Downs. And then we can just put him at every position.
What about JT Tuimoloau playing basketball for Ohio State?
Oh, are we doing that again too?
Yeah, let's do that one.
Are we going to talk about Sam Hubbard playing dodgeball while we're at it?
This kid, Sam Hubbard.
He can do it.
I saw him playing lacrosse, and I figured he must be pretty good at football.
Lacrosse and dodgeball. He can do it all. I think with Jeremiah, so Marvin Harrison Jr. was back to support the Buckeyes on Pro Day. And Berman and I had a conversation with him for our show. And when did you weren't teammates with Jeremiah? He's like, I've been following. I've known him for years, and what he did last year, he said people don't even understand how good he is.
Mm-hmm.
I said,
people
Marv,
see how good he is, but they don't understand it.
And I said, Marv, I watched you play. I watched you become a Heisman Trophy finalist. How are you gushing at this level? He said, people who know ball and people who play my position know how good and how special Jeremiah Smith is. He said, Jeremiah is the LeBron James of football.
Whoa.
And I was like, Marv, do you know what you just did? And he said, I thought it was great because he means it.
Irvin, do you know what you did last year?
Well, this is the opposite of that because we already know that Jeremiah, if Marv is saying that to me, he's definitely already said that to JJ.
Yeah.
But that the way that he
and JJ probably said thank you.
And he said, well, yeah, but I'm going back to work and I'm going to go out and catch more balls. I'm going to go lift a little bit more because he never stops working. And it's the same, but that's the same mindset that Marv had. And that's what's so impressive to me is that you're combining, I think, these obvious athletic traits. When Marv was recruited, it was there was question over if Ohio State really was going to take him. It was 50-50 proposition there with Bo Collins. Could he? It was the work ethic that put Marvin Harrison Jr. in the spot that he's in now and got him to New York City. And I don't mean that as an insult to him because he also has Hall of Fame genetics.
Yeah.
But there's never been any question from anyone who's ever watched Jeremiah Smith at any level of football. Yep, he has one-of-one gifts in athleticism, but he also has the traits that elevated Marv, which is that work ethic and the humble approach.
Hard hat lunch pail guy.
Because Marvin would say, and I always got a kick out of it when he was here. He was like, what are you trying to accomplish? And I was like, well, my dad has a gold jacket. That's it wasn't
I'm trying to chase that.
It wasn't a week-to-week thing. It wasn't a Bolitnikoff trophy. It was, I'm going to get to the end of the career and be one of the best to ever do it. So
pretty lofty expectations.
So when Marv talks about himself that way and trying to reach that level, and then at the same time is able to go recognize the greatness on the way for someone else, that's when it resonates. And the point is, Marv got really close. And I think the only hesitancy that I have, if you're going to put your hard-earned currency on Jeremiah winning the Heisman this year, is I fully believe that opponents are going to put 2 and 3 guys on him on every snap.
I just think you have to.
You have to do it, or else you know what he's going to do. He's going to destroy you.
At the very worst, you're going to have a safety keep an eye. You've got to have shaded coverage. If you're not going to go full-on double team, you need to make sure that you are shaded towards number 4.
And I think that I understand the notion. I mean, heck, I'm sure I've said it multiple times myself. How are you going to double and triple team Jeremiah Smith if Brandon Ennis and Carnell Tate and Max Clare and Mylan Graham and Bryson Rogers are all on the field at the same, are all out there with him?
Yeah, like defensive coordinator's worst nightmare.
But we've seen at the end of his freshman year, that was still the choice. Heck, that's the choice that Texas made. We can't let what happened to Oregon happen to us. Mm-hmm. And the others have to beat him.
And they did a good job.
They did. And they eliminated him and Notre Dame at points in that game throughout that second half until it became third and Jeremiah on the last drive of the game. then you can't let down for a single second. So I think that's the part that's going to determine whether Jeremiah wins the Heisman or not. He is the best player in college football.
Yes, he is.
Are his counting stats going to be at the level that's required to buck the quarterback trend or any of those other things where it always comes down to just pure on the paper numbers? Because that might be harder.
Over under what he had last year. 13-15 was his receiving yards, 76 catches, 15 touchdowns. I mean, that's a pretty big production standpoint for a season for a true freshman.
I mean, the natural inclination is just to say
over.
It's going to be better because the opportunities are going to be in front of him. He's going to be better. Ohio State will be able to, I'm sure Brian Hartline is going to favor the passing attack in ways that maybe Chip Kelly wouldn't.
I would have to think so.
We'll see how that transpires. But, you have opponents are going to have something to say about that. Ohio State's quarterback situation is going to have a lot to say about that, and we'll see. So it sounds crazy that you would even consider the under, but if opponents are going to put 3 guys on Jeremiah, I do believe that Brian Hartline, with this perspective of the strength of the entire room, will be like, fine, until Brandon Ennis is going to have 150 yards and Carnell Tate is going to have 3 touchdowns in this game until you stop. And then the second you stop, boom, then you get penalized.
Then it's Jeremiah time.
Then you're going to be decapitated by Jeremiah Smith.
How's that sound for a defensive coordinator?
Yeah, I mean, I don't feel any sympathy for them, really. That's their line of work they got into. But, that's a lot of sleepless nights.
That is a lot of sleepless nights, especially on Buckeye week. Good luck.
What are you going to do?
Have fun with that guy. Either guard him or don't guard him. Both seem like incredibly stupid ideas.
That's the crazy part, is that now Ohio State also added in this new element with Max Clare in the middle of the field. It's like, you're going to move
doing that.
You're going to move a safety out of the box? Okay. What? That even happened in the spring game to Ohio State.
Yeah, we got done by our own guys here. That doesn't sound fun for anybody at all. The Buckeyes have 30% of the top 10 biggest games in college football this season. We'll get into that coming up next. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
The only workplace in America to participate in the Doorknob Fart Game. And we also play office basketball and sometimes do radio. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Men, is good enough really what you want with your sex life? This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health. And if erectile dysfunction is making for a bad bedroom experience for you and your partner, you should call us because you want your intimacy to be fantastic, both for you and the one you love. At Tri-State Men's Health, our treatments have success rates of well over 90%. And because we're a medical practice focused on men's sexual health, we can offer many treatment options and even combine treatments to find the right one for you. Which means if you're like most of our patients, we can likely get you performing like you haven't in years. So make an appointment and make a change from good enough to really good. And for a limited time, we're offering new patients a free first visit to help you get the care you deserve. This includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose to demonstrate to you the amazing effectiveness of our treatments. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com. We have 6 offices in the tri-state area to serve you. Tri-State Men's Health, a Promenic restorative health practice.
The future of recycling is now at Rumpke Waste and Recycling. The recycling leader has opened North America's largest, most technologically advanced recycling center right here in Central Ohio. This one-of-a-kind facility features interactive displays, educational opportunities, and the ability to process over 60 tons of recycled material per hour. Rumpke is committed to recycling and sustainability efforts, and for more than 90 years, Rumpke has worked to make sure the items you place in your recycling bin get used again. Visit Rumpke.com to learn how you can team with Rumpke to put less trash in our landfills and more of it to good use.
They're trained. They're prepared. Let's do it. They're Ohio's undefeated plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling team. And they're here to tackle your problems. For plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling, there's only one team. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit them online at thewaterworks.com. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
It's game day at Raising Cane's. If you want to order like a Buckeye, it's the action off the field you need to focus on. The only play you're running is chicken. So what combo are you picking? Make it a perfect season. We've got tailgates of hand-battered, cooked-to-order chicken fingers and cane sauce. And jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade. All available to order online or on our app. This season is about to be unbeatable. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love. Proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Hello, I'm Ross Bjork, Senior Vice President and Eugene Smith Wolf Foundation Endowed Athletics Director at The Ohio State University. In partnership with AEP, Donato's, Kroger, The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center, Huntington, and 10 TV, Ohio State Athletics strives to inspire the community to make a positive impact on children and families in our great state through the Buckeyes Care Initiative. Show and share your support in the community by using the hashtag BuckeyesCare.
Hi, here are some ways to listen to The Fan. You can download the Fan app, or listen at home on your smart speaker, or open up the iHeartRadio app, or hold your head out the window and hear Common Man scream. Happy listening from the dopes at The Fan. Get Eco.
ECO. Aaron, which brand of air conditioner is the most energy efficient?
It's the one that's had its outside coils cleaned correctly.
Well, I can wash those off with a garden hose, right?
No.
Why not?
Humidity mixes with dust and pollen to create a microthin film of sticky paste that gets baked onto those hot outside coils.
And that baked-on stuff keeps my coils from releasing their heat into the atmosphere.
Which means your system has to run longer, which uses a lot more energy and it shortens the life of your air conditioner.
Get Eco.
ECO. How do we get that baked-on stuff off?
Remove the exterior shroud, then spray the coils from the inside out with a special eco-friendly solvent.
Can I rinse the solvent off with a garden hose?
Yeah, but only from the inside out.
Or I could just pay Eco to do it.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Eco doesn't take shortcuts. We do it the right way every time.
Get Eco professional coil cleaning for just $468.
All your favorite Fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. All Buckeyes, all the time. You are listening to The Buckeye Show.
Brandon Beam and Austin Ward hanging out tonight. Hopefully your Monday is going very well, enjoying some of this beautiful weather that we're continuing to have here in Central Ohio. Also, we're continuing to go through lists. This is the list show.
Wow.
All right.
We got more?
Listing things.
Don't waste them all. We got a long week.
I know we do. You're in Monday, Tuesday. Got DeVere on Wednesday. And then I think Bids is hanging out on Thursday and Friday. So that's the schedule for you here. Yeah, I'm doing too many lists on a Monday. Shouldn't do that.
Well, there's going to be more, I promise you.
I think that there will be. I mean, we're only in early May. We've only cracked the surface on list talk so far. This is 10 best games to watch in college football. Ohio State involved in 3 of them. Number 10, Ohio State at Michigan. Yeah, I think so. I think that is appropriate, if not higher on the list.
So you told me that's 30%.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And they're starting with that at number 10?
Starting with that at number 10.
It's a bold choice.
Number 10 on the list, Ohio State at Michigan.
All right.
A little write-up here says the Buckeyes couldn't lose to a 5th straight to the Wolverines, right?
They're the first ones to make that comment, aren't they?
Yeah. Real original.
Yeah. First time I've heard it.
Number 9, Texas A&M at Notre Dame. Right out of the gates, September 13th. So Notre Dame isn't easing into 2025 after a week 1 trip to Miami. Irish open their home schedule against an ambitious A&M team that returns starting quarterback Marcel Reed and starts the season with a couple pretty easy tune-ups. This one will speak volumes about either team's potential CFP prowess and all about Notre Dame's new starting quarterback of choice. They got a big one down there last year. I mean, it was a massive win for them when they went to Kyle Field. Now they get the return leg back home for the Fighting Irish.
I'm not sure what it would actually say about Texas A&M's CFP prowess because guess what? They still get to play an SEC schedule. It will tell us a lot about Notre Dame.
Who doesn't play an SEC schedule.
Doesn't have a ton of challenges. Now, that didn't matter a year ago with the game that they lost, and they still wound up in the national championship game. So you said it. It is September 13th. A lot can change for both of those teams after that.
South Dakota State at North Dakota State, number 8. I love a good battle there.
I was not anticipating that. Jesus.
Yeah, you like that?
Okay.
Yeah, the Dakota battle.
Where do they have the border war?
They don't.
Oh, well, that's dumb.
That's not on the list. Number 7.
They have the battle for the Dakotas.
No, how about this? The Montana Derby. Montana State at Montana.
Now they're just trolling.
Number 6, Boise State at Notre Dame.
Okay. I did not know that they were playing, to be honest with you.
I didn't either.
But now
I'm infatuated by that matchup.
Now we've got entertainment because they're picking these games that no one actually cares about in the top 10, and they're just sprinkling here's a little insight for you.
Number 5.
You didn't know that the Broncos were playing, did you?
Did you know that they were going to South Bend?
I assumed that they were. I did not think Marcus Freeman was taking his team out to
Oregon
Boise.
took them to the Smurf turf last year, right?
That's a short commute for them.
Yeah, that's true. Those are big states out there once you get west of, like, I don't know, Kansas. And then all of a sudden the states become much larger in size.
Yeah, they do. But Oregon to Boise State, not that far.
Oregon at Penn State is number 5. Okay, I can get behind that one.
That's a little bit of travel.
That's a little bit of travel, for sure, when Oregon has to come all the way out here. Said on the same day as Bama, Georgia, 2 Big Ten teams with massive expectations faced their huge test of the season. Penn State had just about the best offseason a team can have and will probably be a slight favorite in a rematch of last year's Big Ten championship. Yeah, that'll be a good one. Number 4, Texas at Georgia. Okay, rematch from the SEC championship game. I'm cool with that. Number 3, Penn State at Ohio State, Austin. Listen.
I think that's too low.
I think we can talk about the Texas game as much as we want to talk about it. And I'll give you a little heads up. That's number 1 on the list. Yeah. Texas at Ohio State is the number 1 most watched, biggest college football games of the season. That Penn State game is going to have a lot of pop to it. All right. When we get there, November 1st, first weekend in November, you're here. It's the last time that you play them on a regular basis. I mean, for the last 30 years or however long Penn State has been in the Big Ten, you've played them every year. You know, people here, is that a rivalry? Nah, it's not really a rivalry. I think it is. I think it's a great rivalry that you have, and I'm sad that that game is going away every year. And that game being here, compared to last year, what Will Howard was able to do after that early mistake and kind of that Buckeye tidal wave that then got you back in the game, including a 6-minute and 40-second drive at the very end when everybody in Buckeye land here was like, we can't run the ball. And all they did for the last 6 minutes was just pound the rock, which was a great moment of the season last year for Ohio State. I think there is a pretty heady argument to be made that is not only one of the biggest games of the college football season, but specifically for those two teams, that's the biggest matchup on their board.
I think you left a lot of meat on the bone there for me. Jim Knowles,
yes.
Are you interested in that subplot?
I'll be when we get there. I don't know about you.
I am already.
I'm also interested to see what he does in year number 1 with Penn State, with a lot of the hype that they have coming in.
No question. A lot of these preseason polls right now are elevating Penn State to number 1 and not Texas. So if you're talking about, well, they both play Ohio State. Yeah, they do.
Here, both in Columbus.
One of them has all of the preseason hype. They're trying to climb a mountain that they haven't climbed. They hired Ohio State's defensive coordinator. Their quarterback is a product of the great state of Ohio. They've had some of the most fascinating games in the 13 years that I've covered Ohio State. They're unrivaled all you want. I say it all the time. This series has been the most competitive head-to-head, even over Ohio State-Michigan games, which live on their own. I'm just saying, think about some of the thrillers that have happened. And I can only evaluate 13 years, not 130 years, but this is the way that it works for me.
They're all good.
They're awesome. They've been awesome games, unforgettable games in both places. So factor in that. James Franklin, factor in the NIL that's going on there. And even just looking at, by the way, there is actual Big Ten championship and then CFP implications because they're playing head-to-head and exist in the same conference. And I think maybe people would say, well, this is a more unique matchup when you have these non-conference games and they're going away. That's what elevates Texas, Ohio State. I disagree because we're going to see more of them than ever in the college football playoff era. And there still has to be value, at least there is currently, until they do away with conference championships and do these nonsense play-in opportunities. Like winning the Big Ten this year is still going to matter. And the Texas game is not going to be involved in that in any way.
Number 2 is Bama at Georgia, and then number 1, like I said earlier, Texas at Ohio State. I mean, I think the fact that it's right out of the gates, and we really don't know a whole lot about, one, the quarterback situation here at Ohio State. That start will be the first of either one of Lincoln Kienholz or Julian Sand. And yeah, I mean, we've anointed Arch Manning the number 1 pick in the draft, and we have got to see him in some play at Texas. But it's not like he's got a full season behind him.
We haven't done that.
No, we haven't. We have not done that yet.
The royal we.
No, that's correct.
That don't live here.
But that's as intriguing as a matchup as you get from a neutral perspective.
100%. I actually think that Bama, Georgia probably doesn't belong at number 2 for me because I think Texas, Georgia has replaced that and supplanted it in my mind. But maybe
last year's game was pretty good, though.
Yeah,
that was fun.
It was wild. And maybe they don't want to have Texas being both of the top 2 games. I don't know. It doesn't matter. We're nitpicking about somebody else's list and somebody else's opinion. But I've said it to you time and time again. Why is there this assumption? Is it just because of the last name that Arch is going to go set the world on fire and be the number 1 pick in the draft next year? I watched, certainly he knows how to throw a football and he understands the game. He was born into the most famous quarterbacking family that exists. Yeah. I watched some of those opponents that he was playing in high school, and I'm like, well, what are we basing this off of? It's not like on-field stuff. He's playing against JV kids in New Orleans. He should be throwing for 7 billion yards against them.
But he did.
Well, he did. But I just happen to know some people who went to that high school. No, I mean, he can prove it. I'm keeping an open mind about this and all things. I'm just saying, what has he actually proven so far? Which is nothing. And I'm not saying that the questions are answered about Julian Saint or Lincoln Keynotes. They're not. But they're being treated very differently. If his name was Lincoln,
yes, they are.
I guess if his name was Julian Manning or Lincoln Manning, then they would be projected number 1 in the draft next year.
I think you're 100% correct about that.
But that's just dumb.
It's the offseason. We have to have something to talk about.
I'm going to talk about it.
College Football Pulse is next. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
No hot takes, no dancing, plenty of stupid. Bishop and Friends.
Weekdays from 9 to noon.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Need flexible funds fast? With HELOC from CME Federal Credit Union, you can get a low intro rate of just 3.95% for the first 6 months, helping you save while you borrow. Visit CMEFCU.org to learn more. Terms and conditions apply. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing lender.
Everybody poops. Everybody pees. Mommy, will you call Mr. Rooter, please? 'Cause I gotta poop and I gotta pee. Only Mr. Rooter can clear the drain for me. Thank you, Mr. Rooter.
Hi, everybody. We call it what it is at Mr. Rooter. When you have a plumbing or drain problem, the team at Mr. Rooter is ready 7 days a week. Call us today and take advantage of our $95 drain cleaning special. Visit us at MrRooter.com. We'll be there quick.
Scotty Vegas here, and yes, Memorial Day is this weekend. Have you tried on those shorts from last year? Scary thought if you didn't make any changes. Make a change now and see every future holiday, every day, as the best day with Awaken 180 weight loss.
There's one medical team in Central Ohio skilled enough to care for your favorite Ohio State team, and Buckeyes everywhere. The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center is your choice for the most highly specialized orthopedic and sports medicine care. Our surgeons, physicians, and physical therapists have access to the most advanced treatments and innovative recovery approaches to get you back in your game. Because on or off the field, our team is your team. The choice for your orthopedic care is clear.
Things are popping at Al's Delicious Popcorn. With over 80 flavors to choose from, we have something for everyone. From classics like caramel cashew, white cheddar, and our famous vanilla butternut, to new flavors like chicken and waffles and spicy barbecue. They are all made fresh and they are all delicious. Visit us online at alspopcorn.com or come see us and experience the best service in town at 1500 Bethel Road in Columbus. Al's Delicious Popcorn.
AgPro has been family-owned and operated for over 64 years. We take pride in developing long-lasting relationships and offering first-class customer service. Need a new tractor, parts for your used equipment, or reliable service? AgPro has you covered. AgPro is here to serve you and your operation as your hometown dealer. Visit us today at any of our AgPro locations or go online to agproco.com to get started with your AgPro experience.
When you need mealtime inspiration, it's worth shopping Kroger for mouth-watering meals and appetizing ingredients. And no matter what tasty choice you make, our low prices add up to big savings. Plus, you get over $600 in digital coupons each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump and points. At Kroger, you always get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good evening. I'm Jacob Reimer. Both the Reds and Guardians are in action tonight after they met over the weekend in the Battle of the Ohio Cup. The Reds look to keep their momentum going tonight against the Pirates. Nick Lodolo is on the bump for the Redlegs. They currently lead 1-0 in the first inning in Pittsburgh. The Guardians are in Minnesota looking to snap a 4-game losing streak as they begin a 3-game series with the Twins. Logan Allen gets the ball for Cleveland. First pitch tonight is at 7:40. The Cleveland Browns have signed quarterback Shedeur Sanders to a 4-year, $4.6 million contract. The Browns used the 144th pick in the draft to select Sanders and now have him linked to a rookie deal. Four-time All-Pro linebacker Fred Warner and the San Francisco 49ers have agreed to a 3-year, $63 million contract extension that includes $56 million guaranteed, making Warner the highest-paid linebacker in the NFL. Breaking sports news when it happens on The Fan.
It's time for the College Football Pulse on the Buckeye Show.
Hour two for us here on the Buckeye Show on this lovely little Monday evening that we're having. Rhymetime, you're back from Quail Hollow, getting to watch the PGA Championship here this weekend. What do you got for us tonight, big dog?
So we should just make this a big Bill Belichick segment because
I agree.
We got some more news for him. Originally, we thought the talks of UNC and Hard Knocks were shot down by Jordan Hudson. According to Bill, that was not the case. He sat down with Ryan Clark on the Pivot podcast and in the opening minutes said, and the Hard Knocks thing, like just for the record, Hard Knocks is training camp. And we're not training camp. We're just, that's not what we are. The drama of training camp, the who's going to cut and all that, we're a season and they don't want that. There's film issues too, but forget about the film issues. They just say you could straighten all those out. The Hard Knocks, it just didn't fit us. That's the bottom line. Sounds like he's just trying to protect his woman to me.
Yeah, he is, because guess what? This reporting wasn't made out of thin air. It was actually talked about in emails. Bill Belichick's official UNC.edu, I assume, email, where he was also asking,
or whatever they use.
Yeah, can you also make sure that you include my girlfriend on all this communication?
Whoa. That's his PR person.
Oh, excuse me. Can you include the PR representative for Chapel Bill and Belichick Productions on this? The reporting on this was pretty thorough. They had to turn it over.
We talked about it like it was a fact that they were going to do Hard Knocks.
It was 2 days away from the start. North Carolina and NFL Films had installed cameras in their facility. To pretend like it wasn't going to happen now is one of the most ludicrous assertions, I should say, that Bill Belichick has ever made. This is dumb.
I understand from his perspective now with this answer. I get that answer. That's not real, though. That's not a real answer. I understand that with the differences between college football and the NFL. Yeah, a lot of the drama and intrigue with Hard Knocks, when you watch it every single year, is the players who they highlight as fan favorites. And this guy is a longtime journeyman, or he just played football. I forget who it was last year, this dude for the Bears. Had played football in the Canadian Football League, and they're is he going to make the roster? That's a big part of the story for Hard Knocks when they do their 5 episodes in the lead into the NFL season. And they always get cut, those guys, which stinks for them, obviously. And you as a fan, you're man, it's a real-life business. 90% of their roster's already fixed. I understand this from a North Carolina perspective, from a college football perspective. That does not happen. But there's also the intrigue of hey, if this guy's not playing well, is he going to hit the transfer portal? I mean, that's an avenue, an area that they could have attacked in this version of Hard Knocks. I did see that Dion is getting a show, right? Is that going to be a Netflix show that he's going to get, chronicling him and Buffalo, or not the Buffaloes of Colorado, which would be good. And I'm sure you're the same way here, Austin. I love Hard Knocks. I love any behind-the-scenes look into a professional sports organization. I think it would have been a wholly unique thing for North Carolina to have one. But to come out and say the reason we didn't do it is because basically the storylines wouldn't be good enough? No, that doesn't make sense.
And the reason, all the reasons that Bill Belichick is giving here to Ryan Clark would have been opportunities to say no in advance. But guess what? They didn't.
Yeah.
They were pursuing it up until the very last moment when they got cold feet or he didn't agree to something in the last moment. They spent money to make this happen. Yeah. And then they were talking about the contracts in writing. All those exist. There's records of it. To pretend like that wasn't happening is just Stop gaslighting us, Billy boy.
What will be the Bill Belichick story tomorrow on the College Football Pulse?
I can't wait.
Stay tuned.
Oh my gosh.
For tomorrow, when we get into the next chapter.
I can't get enough of it.
I think it's been a great hire for them.
In what way?
I think that they have a lot of people talking about them in a situation in which we would never talk about North Carolina football.
But when Deion was doing this, it was like positive news and productive building of a roster.
Yeah.
All they've done is like decimate the roster and then bring in 30 transfers and then not let any of them speak to the media.
Nope.
Like, I don't understand. We're going to talk about this team way more than they deserve, and we already have, and we're still doing it right now.
You don't think they're getting in the playoffs?
Like, no. Why is Bill Belichick treating this team like it's the NFL?
Well, he said that. He said it's going to be football school.
It's not.
So you're going to come here, you're going to learn the game, and then you're going to be off to the NFL. They have a feeder team.
They haven't let a single one of their players talk to the media.
Why?
All year.
What are they going to say?
I don't know.
They're going to be asked about Jordan Hudson and his relationship. I guarantee you that.
Well, now they will be.
Yeah, 100%.
But whose fault is that?
It's Bill's.
I think that's Bill Belichick's fault.
What else you got for us, Rhymetime?
So Curt Cignetti, head coach over at Indiana, has now had a chance to think back to how their season finished, losing to Notre Dame in the first round of the playoff, 27-17, and he's disappointed on how he called games against the big boys, and wondered what would have happened offensively if he abandoned conservative play calling. Said he should have gone 2 minutes sooner.
Yeah, I mean, I think that game was already pre-cooked. And not pre-cooked in a way that's like bad or anything, but I think Notre Dame was handling that situation pretty good. Listen, from an Indiana perspective, I don't think you could have asked for anything better. I think in your wildest dreams, that's as far or further than Indiana football even gets in your dreams. And they gave Notre Dame a hell of a game, and I remember after that Friday night, we're like, playoffs are going to be terrible. Look at this. And that was actually the closest game of the entire first round in that 27-17 victory. I understand. I mean, it coaches a lot of the times. I mean, we had the Dan Lanning story on Friday that we were going over that, oh, man, Ohio State still gives me nightmares and they keep me up. Like, as a coach, this is what happens to you. You always think about the alternative. And, boy, if I did this or we did this as a team, or maybe if we got into 2 minutes a little bit earlier and we score on one more possession, then it's a touchdown game, our defense is going back on the football field, then things can happen. You're always doing that as a coach, and to Curt Cignetti's point, you're always doing that as a coach because you want to get better. Now, it's hard for me and you, Austin, to sit here right now in May, given their roster turnover that they've had this year, to see that happening again in Bloomington. But without a shadow of a doubt, it was an incredibly successful season for them. And, oh, yeah, by the way, you lost the 10 points on the road to a team who fought tooth and nail to come back to try to win a national championship as well. So you may be sad, and as a coach, you want that game back with maybe the way that you managed it. There is nothing for him to be ashamed of the way that year number one went.
No, and it's a look at the continued confidence of Curt Cignetti that he is looking at that and not just saying, well, I just produced the best season of Indiana football that's ever existed, and I'm going to be okay with the fact that came up short against Ohio State and lost by 10 in a playoff. Like, we never dreamed of taking the Hoosiers to the playoff, especially not in year one.
Yeah.
Good for him that he is not complacent on that. But there's part of me that thinks that the reason that he feels that sting so bitterly is that there is a realization that's probably going to be difficult to duplicate that again. Now,
and you only get so many cracks at that apple, right? You only get so many bites when you are Indiana.
And that's the difficult part. Now, Curt Cignetti believes that he will do it again. So that's me from the outside.
And you know what? Nobody has to tell him that they cannot do it again. That's their job. That's what they're tasked with, is doing that again.
And if he had just said this offseason or this May, I'm good with it. If I can get Indiana to 10-2 every single year and sneak out a couple of playoff berths, then I'm the greatest coach that's ever been in Bloomington. Yeah. And that's definitely true. But that doesn't mean that he should accept that. And good for him. I've not liked everything that he has said.
Oh, I love it. I think that dude's got a lot of pop to him.
Well, I think you could have maybe stopped short of saying Ohio State sucks. If you're Curt Cignetti. If you
do that.
Purdue sucks, yeah. Okay, we can.
Ohio State, Michigan.
You know what, Sig? I agree with you. Purdue does suck. And you should win that Old Oaken bucket. But I don't know if you want to go out in your first year and say that you think Ohio State sucks too. That's That's the part where I thought maybe you went too far.
He did that before he even coached a game.
It was bold.
It was.
Give him credit for that.
I got the Purdue and the Michigan part right, but didn't get the Ohio State. Yeah, I mean, I understand.
2 out of 3 ain't bad, they say.
Yeah, winning that game is what matters. I think it's just very hard for me to think that they're going to replicate their success from last year. We'll do one more here, Rhymetime.
So the ACC generated $711 million for the 2023-2024 academic year, according to new tax documents released by the league, distributing an average of $45 million to each of its 14 full-time member schools, a record for the conference. This still put the ACC in third place among conferences, trailing the Big Ten and SEC, of course, and by a big margin. Commissioner Jim Phillips says college athletics needs to settle down.
Yeah, because he's...
It needs to settle down.
Because he's commissioner of the ACC. Also, pal, what world are you living in? Because it's not settling down.
This man was very involved in the growth of the Big Ten. He knows exactly what's been happening. He's been driving a lot.
Yeah, he created a monster.
And then you're disappointed. You didn't get the Big Ten commissioner job. I get it. You're down there in the ACC. You're going to advocate for your league. I get it. They're the ones that are involved in lawsuits against their own member schools. Yeah. Like, what are we talking about, man? I feel like these off-season stories in the Pulse have just been, like, designed to make me say, what are you thinking? Like, it's driving me crazy the way that people are viewing this. You're asking for better broadcast deals.
You added Cal and Stanford.
You're the ones that are doing that. Like, college football, college athletics needs to settle down. Who's in your conference? Why are you doing this?
You have Miami and Clemson saying, we want out.
Did someone hold a gun to Jim Phillips' head and say, you must add a team in California to this league?
2!
Or else.
And you're in the Atlantic Coast Conference. Their closest body of water is the Pacific.
Come on, man.
Yeah, come on, man. What are you doing? I think to his point, though, and I don't know what their next broadcast deal is, because if you go and look at it, like, it's bad.
But they're not content. If college athletics are so out of control.
How many ACC games are you watching a year?
I mean,
more than you should?
Not very many, because I don't get to watch college football the same way that everyone else does.
Oh, but you're going to watch this year with Bill Belichick.
I'll probably try and tune into some North Carolina games, but my Saturdays are pretty jam-packed. I'm on the front end. Like, if it's a noon game, I might get to watch a little more evening primetime game, and there are a lot of Ohio State noon games. That's been a personal benefit for me specifically.
How do you feel about those noon games, Austin? Let's do this again.
Do they have those?
We did it all last week.
I mean, but they're not playing meaningful ACC games. If the choice for me is I get home from an Ohio State noon game and I'm in time to watch something in primetime, my preference would be to watch somebody else in the Big Ten. And if that's not really a legitimate option, then it's like, okay, well, who does ESPN or ABC have? What's the SEC primetime game? Because they've built that up, and that's the time slot that they own. So that's what I'm watching. And the ACC is not in that conversation because Florida State was 2-10 last year.
Yeah.
Clemson, I did not take seriously. They lost some early games. Now Dabo rebuilt that, and good for him. But like, what games of actual consequence in the ACC would I have watched?
Miami, Virginia Tech.
Like, I don't remember. I guess there were Friday night games.
Yeah.
You know, they were on the road, and we'd see some ludicrous ACC officiating circumstances. So maybe I did watch more than I think. But, like, they had to be I wasn't going out of my way to watch them, and I still won't.
Where does the Ohio State quarterback stand up against the others in the game right now in college football? We'll do that coming up next. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
We're known for 3 things: games, conversation, and common man yelling about things only he cares about. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
That's are us. When dreams don't get in, that's are us.
Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel, plus low to no monthly payments. Call 380-225-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to bathsareus.com. 380-225-BATH.
That's are us. When dreams don't get in, that's are us.
At
Kroger, we've lowered prices on over 1,000 items across our stores so you can save even more. Whether you're shopping in-store or online at Kroger, we've lowered prices on thousands of the items your family wants and needs. And with lower prices, your dollar goes further every time you shop with us. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Right now, Private Selection Angus 90% lean ground sirloin is on sale. 1 pound packages are only $5.77 each with your digital coupon. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin, 2-time Heisman Trophy winner. The right coverage can be a game changer, both on and off the field. That's why Encova Insurance is prepared for what's next and protects what matters most to you. With independent insurance agents in your neighborhood and innovative insurance products that can be tailored to fit your unique needs, Encova Insurance is an easy win for your peace of mind. For auto, home, and business insurance, you want Encova on your team. Visit Encova.com today to find an agent near you.
We've got a story about a little bean doing big things. Soybeans are used in creative ways you may have never realized to make products we use every day. And Ohio's farmers are growing some of the world's best soybeans. By using and eating soy-based products, you make a positive impact locally and globally. Say hey to the largest ag export in the U.S. Learn more about soybeans at soysecrets.org. This ad brought to you by Ohio soybean farmers and their checkoff.
They're trained. They're prepared. Let's do it. They're Ohio's undefeated plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling team. And they're here to tackle your problems. For plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling, there's only one team. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit them online at thewaterworks.com. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
For over 30 years, Schumacher Homes has been building affordable custom homes throughout the Buckeye State. Experience true customization on your land, your way, without any compromises. Come visit any of our 9 Ohio model home and design studio locations to see the latest in design trends and learn about our award-winning building process, or start online at schumacherhomes.com. You'll be surprised how affordable a custom home will be. Schumacher Homes, proud home building sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
This promo is for anyone who likes baseball or America or Terry Francona's scooter. The Reds are on the Fan. Catch all 162 games here on the Fan and 1460 ESPN Columbus and the Fan's HD2. Your home for Reds baseball, the Fan.
It's game day at Raising Cane's. If you want to order like a Buckeye, it's the action off the field you need to focus on. The only play you're running is chicken. So what combo are you picking? Make it a perfect season. We've got tailgates of hand-battered, cooked-to-order chicken fingers and cane sauce, and jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade. All available to order online or on our app. This season is about to be unbeatable. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love. Proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Come on over to Heartland and join our family.
Now, community banking is the lifeblood of the American financial system, building strong, lasting relationships. We're just better able to help guide you down life's road. Flexibility is paramount to success. Community banking is alive and well in the Heartland. I'm Scott McComb. Come on over to Heartland, where banking really feels good.
Where banking feels good.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
A little sunshine, light winds, and a comfortable start to the week. Temperatures around 70 degrees, down to around 50 by Tuesday morning with light winds and mostly cloudy skies. Scattered showers mainly later in the day and a chance of some thunderstorms too, with highs in the mid-60s. With your 10 weather impact forecast, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jerry Martz on The Fan.
Are we drinking the scarlet and gray Kool-Aid? You bet we are. You're listening to The Buckeye Show.
And today's fan poll is sponsored by Caster Connection. You can find it online at 971thefan.com or on X at 971thefan. I'm guessing Bodie created this morning based on the Toronto Maple Leafs flaming out of the playoffs. Boy, you really hate to see it. If you've listened to me at all,
absolute shame
over these last 10 years or so, you know for me, Austin, that the Toronto Maple Leafs are my least favorite professional organization in all of sport.
One of my favorite things in all of sport is reading the Toronto columnists the day after the Maple Leafs are eliminated from the Stanley Cup playoffs. One of my favorites.
Yeah, you hate to see it, don't you?
No, I'd love to see it.
Yeah, me too. I don't feel bad for them. But it's which sports franchise do you think has been the most cursed over the last 50 years? The Bills, the Browns, the Maple Leafs, or others? Comment below. I think the Bills are way more cursed than the Browns are. The Browns just have a general ineptitudeness about them.
Yeah, the Bills are out there getting, like, clearly screwed.
Yeah, they're cursed. That's what I think of when you think of a curse.
Yeah.
The Browns, yeah, I mean, you can go to the drive and you can go to the fumble like that. We don't need to bring that up. I'm sure that if Shark is listening somewhere,
that's like 40 years ago at this point.
I know it is. No one's forced you to sign Deshaun Watson.
Yeah,
you did that yourself. Okay?
That's not a curse.
No, you look at the Bills. I think the Bills are way more cursed than the Browns are. And the Maple Leafs, yeah, they're cursed, but I love to see it.
Yeah, it's the best curse.
Someone, Jared, replied to this, and he said the Vikings. I agree with Jared. The Vikings are also cursed. They're definitely 100% cursed.
Are they?
Yeah.
They don't leap to mind as like being particularly tortured to me.
What about the Minneapolis Miracle?
Yeah, but what did they get out of it? They didn't get anything. They didn't win a single thing. They won that game. And then they had their.
It's an iconic moment.
And they had the Super Bowl that year was in Minnesota, and then they choked it away and couldn't get there.
Right. I don't know. I can't think of enough examples where like Minnesota was clearly fighting something.
Their kicker a couple of years ago missed a 25-yard field goal to send them to the NFC Championship game.
Shouldn't have been standing there.
Yeah, shouldn't have been playing a game outside in like negative 30-degree weather against the Seahawks. Yeah, other cursed organizations. I mean, the Jackets are cursed.
I'm surprised that the Jackets were not on there
because
instead
it
of the
said
Browns.
50 years.
Oh,
and they weren't alive.
They didn't qualify?
Yeah, they were not qualifying.
I mean, okay. The Bills don't really have 50 years of suffering, if we're being honest.
That's yell at Bodie, all right? I'm not in charge of the fan poll anymore.
I'm not blaming you.
I'm so happy not to have to do that.
That was your favorite.
I loved it. I love doing the fan poll. It's haunted me for a decade.
It was my favorite thing when Shark would come in here 7:15 in the morning and say, Beamer, you got a fan poll for me?
Even without looking at him, I knew what he was going to ask. And I would always respond no, even before he got the question out. And then I would just see whatever headline was on ESPN, and it was like, do the Eagles have a passing game problem? And I'd be like, just put that on the fan poll. The Eagles have Saquon Barkley as their running back, and they just won the Super Bowl. No, I think they're fine.
That was my favorite, was when a Shark would think that I was contributing to the conversation, and I would say whatever was on the screen. Something wrong? That was the... I guess kept asking about the Eagles passing attack.
Like what is
every
wrong
day
with them?
Like, why do you keep asking about that?
No reason. Because he would have on different channels in the morning, so he didn't know where that information was coming from.
Is somebody going to hire Bill Belichick this offseason?
Is Bill Belichick taking his talents to college? Will Bill Belichick coach a game for North Carolina?
I'm more interested in that, to be honest.
So I was looking at tier lists, Austin. Everybody loves a tier list. It's been a ranking show for us tonight. This coming from ESPN, ranking all 136 FBS quarterback situations into tiers heading into the 2025 season.
All of them?
All 136.
Holy cow.
Quarterback situations.
What are the tiers?
Tier 1, top of the class.
Okay.
Tier 2, will Tier 1 be? So hot right now. Shout out to what I would assume would be Zoolander.
They made it 1B?
Yeah, 1A and 1B. Tier 2, pretty darn good. Tier 3, buckle up. Tier 4, the young pups. Tier 5, the waiting is the hardest part. Tier 6, second time's the charm. Tier 7, consistently consistent, which there's 16 quarterbacks in that one. I don't know if we're going to get all the way down to that. Tier 8, fresh starts. Tier 8B, fresh starts, untested edition. Tier 9, welcome to the big leagues. Tier 10, one more try. And they go all the way down. What's the lowest tier that we have? I mean, I wasn't even halfway through the list. I am still scrolling. Tier 20, nowhere but up is the DFL on the list.
That's not where you want to be.
Yeah, you don't want to be on 19 either. Could be worse. That is for Tier 20.
Tell me that there's not a brown and gold logo in Tier 20.
Let's see here. Tier 20.
Because I think there's going to be.
No.
Oh, good.
No, they're not on Tier 20.
All right.
They're not even on Tier 19, Austin.
Thank goodness.
Tier 19 is reserved for Marshall, Rice, Temple, Northern Illinois, New Mexico State, Central Michigan, Buffalo, Ball State, UAB, and UTEP.
Well, it's good to know that Wyoming's quarterback situation is viewed better than those programs.
Yeah.
Thank God for that.
That would be a good thing for you. Head back all the way back up the list, which will take me 10 minutes to scroll back up to. Tier number 1 on the list. Again, these tiers being top of the class. Clemson, Cade Klubnik. LSU, Garrett Nussmeier. Oklahoma, John Mateer. Penn State, Drew Aller. South Carolina, Lenore Sellers. Okay.
All right. I can't really argue with that.
I can't argue with that. I mean, those guys have had production. They've been at their programs for a long time. They should be really good right now. Right behind them, you get Florida, Miami, and Texas. Okay.
That's like what? Bets on unproven superstars?
Yes, I think that's, it's Carson Beck down with Miami. And again, you and I had a Carson Beck discussion last week.
Well, I guess
we don't need to get into the Carson Beck
I don't really
discussion.
understand what he would have in common with DJ Lagway and Arch Manning.
I don't think he has anything in common.
Yeah, so I don't understand this tier then.
I don't get it either.
What did you say it was called?
It was So Hot Right Now.
So Hot Right Now.
Yeah. And they're looking at
Carson Beck could not be colder.
Yeah, well, he's back to practice. Like I said, he's going to be good to go for camp.
Okay.
So he could be colder if he wasn't cleared for football activity.
Oh, he's warm. He's on South Beach. Ha, ha, ha. I get it, ESPN. No. He's coming off of an injury, and when he was healthy, he threw 1,000 interceptions. What makes him so hot right now?
The fact that he's not going to throw 1,000 interceptions this year, and he'll only throw 900. Okay. If you're wondering where Ohio State ranks on these 1 to 20 tier lists,
I am.
They would be at number 4. Tier number 4, the Young Pups. There's 4 programs in this. It's Michigan with Bryce Underwood and Mike Keene. Notre Dame with C.J. Carr and Kenny Minchie. Ohio State with Julian Sayin and Lincoln Kienholz. And then Washington with Damon Williams and Kai Horton, who you'll get to see this year for the Huskies. I think that is a very fair assessment for where Ohio State is at if you were going to do this. It is an unproven commodity that you have at quarterback. I think the only reason that they are so high up on the list is because of the years and track record that Ryan Day has had in that room.
So why wouldn't they be tier 2 then?
I don't know.
If they're so hot
I'm not
right now.
making the tiers.
I know. I'm trying to understand.
We talked about Jeremiah Smith winning the Heisman Trophy earlier on. If he's going to win the Heisman, you would have to have a pretty good quarterback as well to be his running mate.
I don't even want this to be about Arch because we've already made this point a million times that like Julian Sayin's recruiting profile is not all that different than Arch Manning's other than the last name. And if you want to be skeptical of Lincoln Kienholz outside of the program, be my guest. But he is a legit dual threat who Ohio State and Ryan Day recruited, handpicked for very good reason. And he's now into year 3 in the system. Mm-hmm. I think Ohio State is going to be fine with either one. The point is so hot right now. Like, what's the difference? Like Julian Sayin a year ago, everyone is falling all over themselves backwards and say, well, he's a 5-star recruit. And how did this fell into Ohio State's lap? He's no longer so hot right now. Why? He got into games last year as a true freshman.
Yeah.
He's had a full spring. You know what Ryan Day can do. I'm curious the justification, how you decide that you're going to call one of those things so hot right now and include Carson Beck, and then 2 tiers later, which is fine to let Ohio State's quarterbacks go prove it. I don't have any issue with that. But if you're betting on DJ Lagway and Arch Manning, both of those are unproven potential.
Yeah, not like Carson Beck. By the way, I'm buying all the DJ Lagway stock I can get.
I think he's going to be very good.
Mm-hmm.
I probably have more confidence in DJ Lagway than I do Arch Manning, if I'm being honest with you.
I have way more confidence in him than I have in Carson Beck.
Carson Beck is not hot right now. I'm not going to get over this
He's
part.
so not hot right now.
If you're going to say tier 2, then call it literally anything else. This is quarterbacks you've heard of.
These are quarterbacks you know exist. Unlike tier 15, where these are made up guys.
Like
the fake guys.
They're not real. But even if that's what you're going to do, college football fans know who Julian Sayin is.
Mm-hmm.
The man was committed and enrolled at Alabama, was a 5-star recruit, and then very publicly transferred after Nick Saban's retirement to Ohio State. All of those things tell you that fans know who Julian Sayin is. So it's not a problem if you decided that you were going to Derek Zoolander him. You can do it. You have permission.
Yeah, he's so hot right now. You can Zoolander it.
But Carson Beck, you can't. And I'm not ever going to get over this beam. I can't believe
Carson Beck's going to win the Heisman.
Like, why did they even name these tiers? Why didn't you just go in order? The fact that they named it so hot right now is making me really hot right now.
You are visibly upset.
I don't get it.
You are just out of your mind upset right now over a tier list in the middle of May about quarterbacks in college football.
I might like college football too much.
Spring Rewind, tight ends edition here in 2 minutes. It's the Buckeye Show on the Fan.
At Valvoline Instant Oil Change, we're here to help keep you on the road so you can soak up all the summer fun. The road tunes.
Take me out to the ball game.
Hotel pools. Emergency ice cream stops. The sunscreen and bug spray everywhere. At Valvoline Instant Oil Change, we're here for it all. So stop in for a quick oil change before you go. Only takes about 15 minutes. No appointment needed.
Wouldn't it be nice if you could dump all your problems on someone else's back? Well, when you wake up to a clogged drain or a plumbing issue, make that Mr. Rooter's problem.
Call 855-MISTERS today or MrRooter.com.
Call Mr. Rooter. He'll be there quick.
Looking to sell your home? Don't pay 6% commission. Call my guys at Sell for 1% Realtors. They're full service, not a do-it-yourself kind of thing. On average, customers save over $10,000. Give them a call, 614-451-6616. That's 451-6616.
It's Kubota Orange Days. From America's #1 selling compact tractor to zero-turn mowers and versatile RTVs, get your perfect match delivered to your door. Now through June 30th, get 0 down, 0% APR for 84 months or up to $3,500 off BX23S tractors. See the details at KubotaOrangeDays.com.
Visit BuckeyeKubotaDealers.com to find a dealer near you.
Everybody knows that Roosters is a fun, casual joint with their award-winning waitstaff, great food, fun, and laughter. It's a quick stop on the way home to sit back and unwind. It's a front row seat to the big game. Roosters is where you, your family, and friends can order pizzas, sandwiches, salads, and more. And the home of award-winning wings that are fresh, never frozen, and so big you won't believe it. It's your family's other dinner table. Roosters, a fun, casual joint, and the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
The Buckeye Show is sponsored by CareSource, proud to be your home for Ohio State Athletics. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
The best damn radio show in the land. You're listening to The Buckeye Show.
Austin Ward hanging out here tonight. Austin, we've been doing this for the last week or so. Spring Rewind. It brings us this evening to tight ends. And a big addition in the transfer portal, Max Clare coming for Purdue.
Huge. I feel like I've been too negative in this show tonight, so this will be
positive,
a welcome.
Usually
dose.
It's negative berm.
Yeah, not here. How about some positivity? Because I think that this tight end group has a chance to be the best in America. Another BIA potential unit here. And
is this the year for the tight ends?
Yeah. I want to be careful with the way that I view it because I'm a little more hesitant to say Max Clare is going to come in and just duplicate the production he had when he was the number one and really only weapon that existed at Purdue. I think he's really good. The play that he made in the spring game, I think is going to fuel that fire where we have more offseason conversation and project 70, 80, 100 balls caught by the tight ends. Like, I don't think that that's likely to happen because these tight ends, who I think are incredibly good and all bring a skill set that would allow Ohio State to lean into what Ryan Day really prefers to do, which is to use that 12 personnel grouping and have two tight ends on the field. One who might be a better weapon over the middle. Max Clare fits that. One who can maybe do it all and be handle some of the rugged blocking, which is a healthy Will Kazmarek. Like, when I was having the spring rewind conversation with Berm,
which you can download on 10 TV Plus,
which is on 10 TV Plus. That show will be on YouTube soon. Not quite there yet, but also on all audio platforms wherever you listen. You can do that now.
What do they search?
Austin and Berm.
Okay,
and pretty on the nose for that show.
What is it about?
It's about Ohio State football.
Okay,
featuring Austin and Berm.
But how long did it take to workshop that one?
Longer than you think.
I bet.
Well, because I wanted to call it, A to B and play off of the Ohio State mantra and slogan.
4 to 6 A to B?
It's 4 to 6 A to B.
+2.
And then I was like, well, you can spin off all these other things because we can have snap judgments are now just +2. But, any A to B +2, whatever. We didn't do that. It's Austin and Berm. You can find it.
Anywhere you get your podcast.
Anywhere you get your podcast. I feel like this group, with Max Clare and Will Kazmarek specifically,
are the evolutionary version of Jeremy Ruckert and Luke Farrell. And you think, well, that's what a weird comparison to make. But because it wasn't like that combination set the world on fire or won the Mackey Award or did any of these things to get national acclaim. But I think anyone who watched Ohio State's offense, then watched their impact, especially, the way Ohio State used them both in that famous Sugar Bowl victory over Clemson, that was like, and Jeremy Ruckert with some of the highlight reel catches and working over the middle. I think Max Clare can maybe do that to an even higher level. And I think Will Kazmarek has the chance to build on what Farrell did. And I'm not slighting either one of them because they're both still cashing big checks at the NFL level. Luke Farrell just got a new deal, I think, like a week ago. So I mean that as high praise and also high potential for what both of those guys can do.
3 years, $16.2 million for Luke Farrell.
And well earned and well deserved. And I think that's what you can get out of teaming up Max Clare, who is certainly more of the slot-ish weapon, definitely compared to Will Kazmarek, but he fits into that Jeremy Ruckert profile, if you can remember how that worked when it was at its peak. And I think in some ways, like Will Kazmarek doesn't get enough attention and praise for what he did before that injury at Oregon.
He does a lot of the dirty work.
Yeah, and you could tell that
a lot.
Like the offense was not quite the same without him. He is a tough dude, strong dude. He's willing to go put his face on anybody and block him into the dirt. Like he can get that done. But he also got hurt on a 32-yard reception down the middle. Like it's not as if Ohio State couldn't use him in that capacity as well if it wanted to. But you start with those two, and then you start supplementing that with, all right, Jelani Thurman is now in year 3.
Excited for his potential this year.
Can he tap into that? You know that, like, in terms of sheer athleticism, he's one of the highest, rated tight ends that Ohio State has landed, and it hasn't really clicked into gear for him yet.
The Penn State game, big catch.
The triple catch.
The big bobble catch.
Yeah,
was that last year?
3 catches for 1.
Yep.
If he can become a more sure-handed receiving threat, I think that's the key. He is willing to work. Out of all the players that you see, that I see Tuesdays after a press conference, Wednesday before practice, Wednesday after practice, the times that we're around, Jelani Thurman is always getting extra work with somebody, whether that's Keenan Bailey coming out to get him or whether it was a GA coming to show him something or having somebody throw him footballs. Like he is one of the more tireless workers on this roster, and it hasn't translated yet to consistent production, but it's not for lack of effort. So maybe, one more year physically. Ohio State has this well-worn cliche about that position where on one snap you've got to be able to block like a left tackle, and on the next one you've got to be able to win a route against a safety. And it's true that the physical demands of that position are unique and different and taxing. So you have Jelani Thurman trying to make that leap. You have Bennett Christian there. That's just 4. And Keenan Bailey has elevated the recruiting profile for some of these other guys. And I think you're going to, maybe see some of that. Max LeBlanc right there waiting. We'll see if these guys can make the push. You're not going to play 5 or 6 tight ends over the course of a year. So, but Ohio State.
Well, I mean, you can't. They can in games
if they want
going
to,
very much in their favor. Then I think you'll see some of those guys you just mentioned.
But we also saw goal line packages a year ago where Ohio State put 4 tight ends in the game.
Patrick Gerd.
And he's not around anymore. So that's a product of the way that the scholarship crunch sort of is working in the roster cap, but they had too many tight ends that they could actually use, which is a tribute again to the program and the work that Keenan Bailey has done as he's taken the torch from Kevin Wilson as that position unit leader. I think he's done an awesome job, and how they use them all is going to be interesting to watch. The main attention will be on Max Clare and how Ohio State uses him, but I always want to make sure to mention Will Kazmarek for that part of it, because if you just have a Jeremy Ruckert or you just have a Max Clare, that doesn't necessarily let Ryan Day operate the kind of offense that he likes. And it's not every down. It's like 33% of the time he wants to be in 12. Maybe Keenan Bailey would fight and push for more. He's got a great relationship with Brian Hartline. Maybe we'll see that more, although you also have to get the wide receivers on the field, so that becomes a delicate balancing act there. But the point is, overall, when you look at Bennett Christian with the blocking, Jelani Thurman's upside, Will Kazmarek is just the rugged do-it-all guy, and then Max Clare now is his target. Like, you can do whatever you want if you're Ohio State at tight end. And
It's not always going to be sexy. It's not always going to be a bunch of stats, but it's going to be really important.
I think it's a very nice luxury for them to have as well. When you look at Max Clare and bringing him over for Purdue, what you're expecting the actual like statistical output to be on this. Yeah, I mean, I know we joke around every year is the year of the tight end around here. It's like, G. Scott, we're going to unlock him. It's like G was huge down the stretch and made a couple of really big plays in the national championship run that they just had here, and plays that will be unheralded. And
the Texas fight for yardage before the 4th and 3. Holy cow!
Yeah, exactly. Like those plays. And so, like when you go back and you remember some of these games, you're not really going to remember the dirty work plays that the tight ends make. It's just the way that they operate. But to your point about the wide receivers, what a nice weapon to have when everybody's going to be keying on Carnell Tate and Brandon Ennis and, Jeremiah Smith and Mylan Graham. And we've already talked about the potential problem, and not problem, I'm saying it's a problem for us talking about it out loud and spreading the football around when you have guys of that ability. But if you're locked up on the defensive backfield with those receivers and you're managing to do it at a very high level, and you are having a good game as a coach out there and limiting these Buckeye wide receivers to not doing much on the field, there is still an inherent threat with this position room at Ohio State, and one that can be unlocked at any moment.
Yeah, Ryan Day was asked about this 3 weeks ago at this point. He had his post-spring press conference, and it was Beers and Buckeyes' his own Pat Murphy was like, he said you were asked about weapons, like who are you talking about? What did you mean? And the first person that Ryan Day named was Max Clare.
Yeah.
So I think like there's a situation here, and I don't want to get too far ahead over my skis. I've been covering this team long enough that I've written about the year of the tight end a bunch of times, and that's not come to fruition. And I've become a lot more cautious about doing that. Max Clare, in the way Ohio State and Ryan Day specifically has talked about him, and you look at the production that he's had, if he does wind up in situations where he's getting a lot of one-on-one coverage against a linebacker or a safety, then he is going to get the football a lot.
Yeah.
And he can make teams pay. He's got an ability that is a little bit unique. When I say he can take what Jeremy Ruckert did and build on that and be the next level of that, I think there's already evidence that he has done that against Big Ten opponents. And now you're putting him in a situation that he's never been in before, which is really elite wide receivers commanding a ton of attention.
And better quarterback.
Like there might be opportunities where he's just floating in the middle of the field and like, this is really easy.
This is nice for me.
You just put the ball right
choice.
Here, and like I'm gonna be a first-round draft pick.
I made a good choice by coming over here from West Lafayette.
Yeah,
I don't have to see those windmills anymore again in my life.
In gray skies.
Yeah.
Welcome to the San Diego of the Midwest.
At least not today. You're getting it maybe later in the week, but future Brandon and Austin will worry about that.
Don't say that.
Hashtag Buckeyes next. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
A lot has changed in 30 years, but we're still that old shoe that feels worn in and well-loved. And well, we smell a little, but you've accepted that. The Fan.
At Kroger, we've lowered prices on over 1,000 items across our stores, so you can save even more. Whether you're shopping in-store or online at Kroger, we've lowered prices on thousands of the items your family wants and needs. And with lower prices, your dollar goes further every time you shop with us. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
Check out this fresh deal on General Mills Giant Size Cereal. Select 20 to 29 ounce varieties or 3 for only $10 when you buy 3 with your card. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Anyone can choose to make a difference. You can help people succeed, rebuild after disasters, protect the environment, or feed the hungry. Not only will you make a difference for others, but for yourself. You can earn money for college, learn career skills, and make friendships that last a lifetime. Make a difference. Choose your future. Choose AmeriCorps.
There's one medical team in Central Ohio skilled enough to care for your favorite Ohio State team, and Buckeyes everywhere. The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center is your choice for the most highly specialized orthopedic and sports medicine care. Our surgeons, physicians, and physical therapists have access to the most advanced treatments and innovative recovery approaches to get you back in your game. Because on or off the field, our team is your team. The choice for your orthopedic care is clear.
Things are popping at Al's Delicious Popcorn. With over 80 flavors to choose from, we have something for everyone. From classics like caramel cashew, white cheddar, and our famous vanilla butternut to new flavors like chicken and waffles and spicy barbecue. They are all made fresh and they are all delicious. Visit us online at alspopcorn.com or come see us and experience the best service in town at 1500 Bethel Road in Columbus. Al's Delicious Popcorn.
Attention Columbus. Town Properties just clinched the title of the largest residential property manager in Columbus, thanks to the Columbus Business Journal. With pride, we oversee 25,000 plus households in the Columbus metro area, ensuring fantastic places to call home. Whether you're on the hunt for an exceptional living space, a top-notch association management company, or a property manager for your multifamily portfolio, visit our website at town.properties.com and let us elevate your living experience. Town Properties, always managing great places to live.
The future of recycling is now at Rumpke Waste and Recycling. The recycling leader has opened North America's largest, most technologically advanced recycling center right here in Central Ohio. This one-of-a-kind facility features interactive displays, educational opportunities, and the ability to process over 60 tons of recycled material per hour. Rumpke is committed to recycling and sustainability efforts, and for more than 90 years, Rumpke has worked to make sure the items you place in your recycling bin get used again. Visit Rumpke.com to learn how you can team with Rumpke to put less trash in our landfills and more of it to good use.
Most radio stations suck. Here's why. They don't invest in local programming. We're live and local 14 hours a day. You can rest assured that every stupid thing we say is 100% local. Homegrown dumb since day one. The Fan.
Two guys drove to work. Neither guy wore a seatbelt. One guy got a ticket. One guy didn't. The same two guys drove home. One guy wore his seatbelt. One guy didn't. One guy made it home. The guy not wearing his seatbelt didn't. Don't risk it. Click it or ticket. Paid for by NHTSA.
Huntington is banking that just clicks. Like early pay. Moving up payday so you could get your money faster. Up to 2 days faster. And there's no cost. It's your money, right? So stop playing the waiting game. It's just one more way we're looking out for people every day. Is your bank looking out for you? Maybe it's time to switch. Visit your neighborhood Huntington branch or make the switch at huntington.com/yourmoney. Direct deposit and eligibility requirements apply.
Cheer on your Reds when they face off against the Chicago Cubs over Memorial Day weekend, May 23rd through the 25th. Enjoy Reds baseball all weekend long at Great American Ballpark. Take in a spectacular post-game fireworks and drone show presented by Belterra Park on Friday. Come back on Saturday when fans in attendance will receive a Reds baseball card set thanks to Cons while supplies last. Get your tickets for all the action now at reds.com/tickets.
I'm Shanola Hampton. Every day, millions of people face hunger. Today, I will share with you some of their experiences. I'm stuck between paying for medications or paying for food. John from Maine. After paying my bills, I can buy groceries. It's sad to say, food comes last. Alice from Oregon. I thought pantries were for less fortunate people. But anybody could be less fortunate in a day or even a second. Claire from Virginia. The Feeding America network of food banks helps provide over 6 billion meals to people in need each year. No one should have to worry where their next meal will come from. Together, we can end hunger. Learn more at feedingamerica.org.
All your favorite Fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Social media can be a cesspool. Allow us to navigate the waters. #Buckeyes.
Sponsored by the Waterworks. Call the plumbing, heating, and cooling technicians at the Waterworks and header today. Call 614-232-2222. Proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Austin and I are just enthralled right now with the NCAA Women's Golf Championship going on at the Omni La Costa Resort in Carlsbad. Now, the Buckeyes did not make it to this final day of stroke play, Carrie Hollenball did make it to the final day. She's getting ready. She's finishing up her round, Austin. On Friday, she shot a 71. Saturday, 73, 75 then yesterday. But it was still good enough for her to then make the cut and play a one-off for this evening. Carrie Hollenball officially right now 1 over par as she gets ready to head to the 5th hole on the front 9. So she's through 14 holes right now. She is currently 4 over through the tournament. She is 1 over today. Good for 35th place finish right now. But we got a nice battle between Kelly Zhu and Maria Jose Marin. Arkansas and Stanford golfers battling it out right now for what is going to be a national championship.
I'm fully invested.
I am too.
I mean, this is down to the wire, high-level golf that I could never even dream of playing.
No.
I mean, Jose Marin just... I don't even know how she's making. She's teeing this ball up so high, Beam.
There has to be 2 millimeters of that tee that is actually in the ground.
I've never seen it like this.
I mean, you want to talk about tee high and let it fly. That's teed the highest I've ever seen anybody tee it up in their life.
I know. She's playing great golf.
She is. She's at 11 under. Kelly Zhu trying to take her down from Stanford at 9 under.
It's getting hectic.
Yeah, it's getting late.
It's like you're coming down. You get to 17 at the Ridge Golf and Gardens, your 35th hole of the day.
Just absolutely gassed.
Just
ready for a
get
break.
To the finish line. Your hands are shaking.
Yeah. Especially when there's a large group of guys gathered around the 18th green.
Once those carts start pulling around, that's exactly what these ladies are going
Muirfield Village, 18 at the amphitheater seating, and then Marysville has to be, if it's a tier list for most pressure-packed shots in golf, I might actually put Marysville up higher on the list than 18 at Jack's Place.
I'd call it so hot right now.
Yeah, 1B. It's 1B.
1A and 1B.
Memorial Tournament, 1A. And the rest of the majors, Marysville, 1B. So hot right now.
Well, I've never got to play at the Village, so I wouldn't know.
That'll happen soon enough. How long
you say.
You haven't been trying.
I don't know. I've lived here 13 years.
Have you tried?
There was a, let me see, a football coach who used to work here. He lived on that course, and he'd say, we'll take care of that for you. No problem. That
didn't do it?
That didn't happen. He doesn't own that house anymore, but he's still around Columbus.
Yeah, he's still here from time to time.
I thought that was my best shot.
I used to work there.
I know you did.
Yeah.
But then there was also I never even got approved for a media credential until last year. So I
had to help with that.
Yeah, you had to pull strings. It's like, well, maybe he'll be out there to do, some shows. Like, he might need a credential for that. We should probably take care of that. I don't know if I have one this year, so I don't think I got invited back.
No, I don't think you did get invited back, unfortunately.
So that's back out. So I never got...
I bet you got one this year. I bet Fish took care of you.
Where is it?
I haven't heard that I have one either, and we're doing shows out there next week.
But I would very much like to experience it someday, and hopefully I will. I hope you're right. Maybe if I pour 13 more years into this town, this community.
Which you will.
Which I definitely intend to.
Yeah.
God willing, health provided. Maybe by the time I get to the 50s, I'll be invited out.
We got to walk out there.
That's fine.
No cart.
I mean, I've done that now. It had been a long time, and I had vowed
you don't have to carry your bag, though.
Well, yeah, okay. I had vowed after competitive high school golf, I'm never going to walk again. But there just have become a few situations where it's if you want to play really good courses, you don't have a choice.
Yeah, you have to walk.
So,
best time I ever had out there was I think was it the Learfield outing that was here, and I played with Jake Ballard, and Jake has a medical exemption. And so they just gave us a medical exemption as well. So we just went out there with the golf carts, and it was scattered for us.
Oh, my gosh.
It was the best.
No way.
It was the best situation that has ever evolved. Wow. Everyone else had to walk except for our group.
That's a big win for the program.
It was huge. It was huge. And shout out to Tommy and Scotty, who were our caddies that day. Those are my guys. And they were thrilled. They were the happiest people of all of us.
This never happened before.
Yeah, they said, we'll just ride on the back of your golf cart. Can't do that out there. You got to sit on the front if you're a caddy, transportation. Going anywhere. But yeah, it was great. Speaking of golf, the men's golf team was looking to end the season on a high note. It did that. It won the National Golf Invitation over the weekend out at Southern Dunes in Maricopa in Arizona. Buckeyes went into the final round with a one-shot lead over Utah State, and then carded an 8 under par 280 as a team on Sunday to beat the Aggies by 7 shots.
I told you on Friday.
I know you did.
I called it.
You said we're winning this thing.
We smashed it on DraftKings.
Sunday's win. If they offered it, I would.
Oh.
Sunday's win was the Buckeyes' 3rd victory in the final 4 tournaments of the season. That's in addition to a big 5th place finish at the Big Ten Championship. So they're not done yet. We're loading up.
I think when we talk about NIL opportunities, we never think about, or I don't, I won't speak for everyone, the way that can translate and trickle down to the other revenue sports. Because it is true, an Ohio State diploma has a lot of value.
Mm-hmm.
Neil Shipley was talking about that last year, and that's what sparked it in my mind. It's like some of these opportunities for college golfers, for volleyball players, like you're all things being even, you might going to have a better opportunity to make a little money on the side and get the value of that Ohio State diploma on your wall. So that you just see that the competitive excellence across all teams is pretty remarkable.
All 36.
It's amazing.
It really is.
I wish it was all 36, and I won't say which one's not.
There's a couple out there, but we're working on things, okay?
I know.
We're working on things. By the way, softball got eliminated in Tennessee over the weekend as well. It's a heck of a season.
That's a difficult place to go win a regional.
Yeah, it is. Tennessee knocked them off. It's
a good program. It's a difficult place to go play on the road. It was a tall task, but the way that team was mashing throughout the year, there's some exciting stuff going on for that program too, and it fits in exactly with what I'm talking about. You got to have something to build on, a coach with that vision, which the vision here is just hitting a lot of home runs.
You know what?
Why didn't they think about that before?
I just hit dingers. That's all I'm going to do. Austin, what do you say we do this again tomorrow? You good with that?
I'd love to.
What are you doing tonight? Any big plans?
Well, it is Monday, Beamer.
Yeah, I know.
So when I get home, and Liberty knows the rules for Mondays now. You don't start. It's on Netflix. Like, I can catch up, and then we don't have to watch commercials. So we're watching Raw.
Everybody have an awesome night. We are back tomorrow. We'll take you to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where the Reds and the Pirates are tied at 1 apiece. Everyone have a great night. Talk to you tomorrow. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
Oh, hey, the best football team in the country's on the best radio station in the country. Congratulations, Buckeyes. Here's to 100 more years together. Your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan.
When sudden illness or injury strike, Ohio State offers 3 types of urgent care to meet any of your needs. From traditional urgent care to our specialized orthopedic urgent care for activity-related injuries and advanced urgent care for more serious injury and illness, Ohio State's experts treat everything from broken bones to ear infections and colds and flu. When your illness or injury can't wait, the choice is clear.
Everybody poops, everybody pees. Mommy, will you call Mr. Rooter, please? 'Cause I gotta poop and I gotta pee. Only Mr. Rooter can clear the drain for me. Thank you, Mr. Rooter.
Hi, everybody. We call it what it is at Mr. Rooter. When you have a plumbing or drain problem, the team at Mr. Rooter is ready 7 days a week. Call us today and take advantage of our $95 drain cleaning special. Visit us at MrRooter.com. We'll be there quick.
At Kroger, an annual Boost membership is better than ever. Save up to $1,100 each year on gas, groceries, delivery fees, and streaming options. With double fuel points, unlimited free delivery, and exclusive savings for members, there's so much to love about Boost. Sign up for a Boost membership today. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin, 2-time Heisman Trophy winner. The right coverage can be a game changer, both on and off the field. That's why Encova Insurance is prepared for what's next and protects what matters most to you. With independent insurance agents in your neighborhood and innovative insurance products that can be tailored to fit your unique needs, Encova Insurance is an easy win for your peace of mind. For auto, home, and business insurance, you want Encova on your team. Visit Encova.com today to find an agent near you.
Soy has been keeping secrets, and it's ready to share. Soybeans are among the most versatile agricultural products. They are used in creative ways you may have never realized to make products we all love and use every day. Ohio is leading the way, developing new uses for soybeans to support our changing world. Soy low-key slays, and I'm here for it. Learn more about soybeans at soysecrets.org. This ad brought to you by Ohio soybean farmers and their checkoff.
Donato's is bringing you huge savings on a large pizza. For a limited time, get any large one-topping Donato's pizza for just $10.99 when you order online and pick it up. That's right, just $10.99. I'm going with that pepperoni. But hey, you pick your favorite topping, then pick up your large one-topping pizza for just $10.99 when you order online using promo code PICKUP. That's promo code PICKUP. Pick up your Donato